after a program or volunteer for free food distribution at India House. Host your next indoor or outdoor events at India House facility. Parties, weddings or corporate events. Located centrally at 8888 West Belford, Houston. For details, call 713-929-1900 or visit indiahouseinc.org. Follow India House Houston on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter.
वेलकम, दिस इज़ नमस्ते रेडियो. आप सबको नमस्ते. मैं हूँ वंशिका और मेरे साथ हैं संदीप, डीजे डोली दीप. दिस इज़ अ स्पेशल शो फोकसिंग ऑन मेंटल हेल्थ, brought to you by Namaste Radio and India House Houston in partnership with Hawk Foundation and Asian American Health Coalition, AAHC. We have been presenting this for the month of May, as May is the Mental Health Awareness Month. So this special show on mental health awareness in Asian Americans is brought to you by in every Monday of May. Today is our third show, and today we will be talking again to a special guest. We have been speaking a lot about mental health and how important it is in our lives. How important is it to talk about mental health? Today we have with us Deepti Patel, and very soon we will be talking to Deepti Patel and asking her about what she has to share with us about mental health. But before that, let me remind you all that our phone lines are open. If you want to participate, if you want to share with us about what experiences you've had, anything that you have learned out of that experience, any positive, anything that you want to share with the public, you can always call us at 713-974-4000. That's 713-974-4000. Again, this is Namaste Radio, a special edition of Namaste Radio focusing on mental health awareness in Asian Americans. Now I would like to welcome Deepti Patel. Deepti is a certified professional life coach specializing in relationship and divorce coaching. She found her passion to help others after going through her own relationship and divorce crisis. Deepti helps both men and women going through relationship crisis, divorces, and offers premarital guidance. Deepti also volunteers her time at India House Houston as a offers free coaching at India House Houston, and she also volunteers at other non-profit organization and outreach programs. Welcome, Deepti. We are so honored that you were able to be a part of Namaste Radio today for this special edition, and thank you for taking out time and participating. Please tell us, what do you do as a coach, and how did you get started? We are so excited to have you here.
Thank you so much. I got started when I was to go through the transition.
Absolutely. No, thank you so much for sharing that, and thank you for doing what you're doing, because like you said, you've been through that. A lot of us have been through that, and many people out there, all of us, life doesn't come with a manual to go through all of this.
Right.
So if we have an expert talking to us, telling us, because sometimes when we are dealing with emotions, mental health, all these finances, talking to people, I don't think we can make those right decisions at those times. So yes, talking to an expert makes a lot of difference. And thank you for doing what you're doing, Deepti.
Thank you so much.
And again, welcome to this show.
Thank
you. For taking our time and being here. So getting on to our, little more in detail and taking our show forward, I was reading about relationships and, before the show and everything. And especially during the pandemic, it has affected a lot. And a lot of men and women have gone through some sort of mental, distress. And we may not be able to address it correctly. We may not be able to just even recognize that we've been through it, but we have. In some certain ways we have. So can you share what you have seen in your practice, if what people have, whatever you have seen, and please share with us about that.
Sure. So last year has been unique for everybody, right?
Absolutely.
We have to change our daily lifestyle. Children are now at home, homeschool, remotely going to school.
Yeah.
So the mothers are not used to, they have that free time from 8 o'clock when the husband and kids are out of the house. And you have till 3 o'clock. And you have all this time to do things, get ready, get prepared for dinner. And now it's chaos. We're working, even men and women working longer hours. So if a woman is working, she now has to not only work at home, make sure the children are attended, the spouses, you have to feed the kids. Before you're used to making one meal a day, now you're doing 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
So the workload has drastically increased.
Yes.
Unfortunately, as women, and I see a lot of women clients, and then I have a lot of male clients who recently came on board too. But we as women are taught to just take on more responsibilities, and we are really good at that.
Right.
I think by
multitasking.
Multitasking. So we feel a need that we have to be number one, because my mom did it. My grandma was even extremely productive. And not realizing that now we have resources. You don't have to cook every single day.
Right.
Watch your children. If you have adult kids, look how many times they're at the restaurant. Right? So, and making these meals, not, preparing enough, we just add more work to our plate. And then with that, stress level increases. How we treat others increases. And number one thing I've seen with women and men also, when there is stress in the home, there are 3 different marriages. The inability to communicate effectively. There's marriage that 3 different buckets of marriages. The first one, everything looks beautiful, 100% looks like a perfect family. Because usually we don't share our business outside. It's in closed doors. So India's divorce rate is less than 1 to 2%. Still continues to be the less. Asian Americans' divorce rates are at the lowest throughout the world. And that's not because the marriages are perfect. It's just we have learned over years to tolerate.
Compromise.
Our parents did it. Our grandparents did it. We expect our children to do it too. A lot of it is because of society pressures.
Right.
The myths around it. What are other people going to think about your marriage being dissolved? You don't want to share the dirty laundry outside.
Yes.
So we have that. So necessarily, 50% of these marriages are not happy, but they tolerate, they move on. The next is toxic relationships. Toxic relationships are the ones that verbal abuse. And it's both men and women, right? Men abusive, just you don't understand, lack of confidence, creating the woman, you're not smart, not respecting the woman to that level, not appreciating her needs. So women are kind of the followers. Then you have women who are the naggers, right? They nag. So the husbands are also kind of, they don't understand, but what are they nagging about, right?
Right.
Because they're not communicating effectively. And then the third is a dead marriage. I see a lot of older generation now coming in. They have different bedrooms. They sleep in different bedrooms. They are just roommates anymore, They do their own things, and that's a dead marriage. Nobody's living, right? To the fullest and the potential that they have.
And it's so strange, actually, when you mention all 3 of them. I've seen that around. I hear about it, and everybody is a part of it. We all, somewhere or the other. So it's very strange. And like you said, they're just partners. They're just, the third one, a dead marriage. Like we see a lot of that.
A lot of that.
Yeah.
Right. So those are the 3 buckets, and when I see my clients, I help them to build confidence. I think as women, we just know automatically, or we think our husband knows what we're feeling.
Right.
But we really don't communicate the right way that, hey, I'm not feeling well, I won't be able to cook tonight. Instead, we are throwing things and being upset, but the fight goes into a totally different area.
Yeah.
So with lack of communication, inability to say no, boundaries, creating boundaries. We feel like we have to be super women or super men to just be the perfect out there. So I think not having those boundaries are also, and mental depression is the biggest one now,
Right.
So when you see marriages, sometimes you have to look at yourself. Are you feeling depressed? If you're feeling depressed for more than 2 weeks, what does depression look like? Inability to have friends, or you don't want to feel like cooking, you're barely getting to the gym, not interested.
Right.
I think, and then people start isolating. So these are all signs of depression and mental illness. And we are told by our generation, South Asian especially, this is like this in every family, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in 2019, we had a homicide here in Sugar Land.
Yes.
With a family that the husband killed a spouse and committed his own life, took his life, and everything was behind the closed doors. The couple was obviously having marital issues, did not talk about it. Friends did not realize it. Friends thought everything should be just, every home has this problem. Learn to tolerate. But we don't want to talk more about it.
Right.
But there's so many resources, Vanshika, now that I think we don't take full potential of it. We are on Facebook. We're doing we're spending too much time on other things. But YouTube is your friend. A lot of resources. Motivational speakers are out there. If you have money, you can spend money on getting professional therapy coaches. And then we have free help, free community that volunteers to, the resources are out there. So it's for everybody.
Oh, yes. And then we have places like India House where you do that, you volunteer your time for coaching. And again, thank you for that. Because all this that you've mentioned, that's there in our society, that's, been there for such a long time and will be there. And on top of that, we had COVID, where even when spouses had about 8 to 9 hours of gap, that entire day, and then they're looking forward to see each other again in the evening, that was taken away. So if there was some kind of marital issues going on, that added to it, increased that, because they were just being with each other a lot, I would say, right? With kids and everybody involved, and the lady cooking maybe 10 times more and adding all of that. But great conversation. At this point, I will just take a quick break, and we will be back talking to Deepti Patel, continuing on, relationships, mental health, a lot of it. So stay tuned. We'll see you shortly.
Let's go! Bollywood entertainment, Bollywood gossip, Bollywood classics, to the latest hits. Local news and events happening around town. Giveaways and lots of musty. This is Namaste Radio.
Every Saturday at 10 a.m. on 99.5 FM with your hosts, Vanshika, Sushil, and Dolly D.
Listen online at namasteradiohouston.com. Download the app, available on your Android and iPhone.
Namaste Radio.
Welcome to India House Houston. India House is a non-profit organization that serves the community by bringing resources, education, and services to Houstonians like health and fitness programs, language classes, charity clinic, and various events. Help the community now. Sponsor a program or volunteer for free food distribution at India House. Host your next indoor or outdoor events at India House facility, parties, weddings, or corporate events. located centrally at 8888 West Belford, Houston. For details, call 713-929-1900 or visit indiahouseinc.org. Follow India House Houston on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Hello and welcome back to Namaste Radio. This is Vanshika and मेरे साथ हैं संदीप. आप सबके साथ आज हम सबके साथ हैं दीप्ति पटेल. She is a relationship coach, certified professional life coach. So she's talking to us about mental illness in relationship, how different factors in a married life leads to mental illness. So thank you so much, Deepti, for being a part of our show today. And also, I want to give a shout out to my mom today, who is here accompanying us for the very first time ever in, my radio journey. So thank you for being there, Mom. I know y'all can't see her, but she's here. So we were talking to Deepti about, types of issues, concerns that we see in a marriage, or, also what to watch for and how you can help friends and family. Before we move on, do you want to add something to that?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So how do you help your friends and family? So first, take care of yourself first.
Sure.
Make sure you're in good health. You're focused. You take care of yourself first, right? And then also your family. When you see signs of depression, you've been with certain friends for years, you have been with certain family members for years.
Yes.
If they are changing in front of you, you should notice that.
Right.
And don't be silent. I think what we do is like, maybe her husband's like that, or his, wife is like that. We never address anything. Sometimes there's a big difference between listening and hearing, right? We hear things, but are we really listening?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So be good listeners out there. Be there for your friends and don't judge. During my journey, I remember the first time, I have a very good friend, and she's also a Bali instructor, and we diverted our focus on the next passion. So always go for what you're passionate about. Distract yourself with a hobby.
Sure.
If you're working, you already have work. But some of us are blessed to be homemakers. But homemakers, there's a lot of responsibilities. It's not just a small title. But take care of yourself. Do something for me. There's me time.
Me time.
Right?
Absolutely.
Everybody has me time. Those are important things. Recognize those and help your friends, volunteer, be in different groups, and mental health. If you're happy, you will create a nice environment.
Yes.
And I think that's very important.
Yes, it is. And I totally agree where you said that if you are happy, because that's a change I've been through in my life in the last 10 years, where I have realized if I am not happy with myself, if I am not happy with things around me, no matter who it is around me, I cannot make them happy. So one thing I really believe is, yes, if I'm happy, everything around me turns automatically happy. Even if it's not 100% happy, to some level it is happy. But I can work towards making it happy. And the other thing that you were talking about, signs, I think it's so important. Even when we were, talking to Anila in our first episode, she was talking about early signs in even kids. So same thing with, even if you're an adult, it's not that you can get into depression only in childhood. Depression can happen anytime, right? So even as an adult, so many times it's like we share, as a married woman, I may share things with, my mom, my mother-in-law, and I'm not only talking about me here, anybody. Talk to them, listen to them, just don't tell them that it's okay, ladka hai, it's okay. Let him say, you keep quiet. I think that attitude in us, in South Asians, have to change.
It has to change.
Right?
And more conversations need to be there. And especially some of us, your mom's in the audience here, so some of us have gone through a lot of responsibilities, a lot of struggles. First, immigrants into the country, we have worked very hard for what we have, right? But how are we treating our children? Freedom. Mother-in-laws out there, they now understand boundaries. They want better for their children. So older generation, yes, they have sacrificed, but I call them the sandwich generation. We have taken care of our in-laws.
Right.
And we know our kids really won't be taking care of us until the end.
Right.
When we really need their help. But we give them enough freedom. So things are changing because conversations are out there, resources are out there.
Yes.
But I'm sure we can do more.
Yes, absolutely. And I think there's a big change, especially if, like a woman from probably 40, 50 years ago who's been in an arranged marriage, who's now has a daughter-in-law herself, but it helps if her own daughter, who's also married, kind of can teach her mother, about boundaries that you said. I think as a mother, that she would be readily accepting of these conversations with the daughter, rather than just going ahead with mother-in-law in the first go, being a mother-in-law. But as a mother, she's more accepting, right? Beti sikhayegi ya batayegi about boundaries. It helps faster than daughter-in-law saying it in a way which could be offensive at times.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, and I'm all of this is like with my experiences around, but definitely you tell us about some of the experiences that you would like to share about all of this. Yeah.
And you're right. Children are our best guidance. They see what the marriage is looking like. So I don't suggest a 16-year-old guiding you to, Mom, Dad, you're not getting along. This is the time to move differently, right?
Yeah.
Because they have their own selfish needs, because one parent is obviously the strict parent than the other. So they might be for their best interest.
Right.
But when a 35 or a 40-year-old woman is saying, Mom and Dad, a marriage should look like this, trust them. It should like that. Because they are living it. They're not living in an abusive relationship. They have created boundaries. They have an agenda. Most of my clients don't even have a calendar. They go just as a flow. Like somebody interrupts them, the whole day is gone. Getting up and taking 5 minutes for yourself is also important.
Absolutely.
So when your children are there and they're giving you guidance, listen to them. And now I think good thing is children are saying, Mom, Dad, this is how it should be, or Dad, maybe treat Mom like this, or they are coming and helping educate us more.
Yes. And with the younger generation men, I think they are more involved in the household work, and I mean, just my example, I think my husband is equally involved. Yes, there are times when, I would take over the responsibility more because of his long extended work hours. But when he has the time for it, he goes for it. He helps out. And sometimes, it's setting an example for people, if you're younger generation or us, we are setting example for the elders in the house. If it's not the way, or it has not been the way that way, where it's only the woman working and the men, bas kaam pe gaye, ghar aaye, even if the woman is gone to work and she's coming back, it is, I think, somewhere has been expected more out of a woman to come back home and cook and clean and take care of the kids or the dog or whatever. But I think things are changing. And have you seen that change in, with your patients, with your experiences around?
Yes, absolutely. And what I've seen is, I help my clients through seeing, are you going to set an example for your children? If you're going to operate in this environment, your children are adapting to it. If you have a husband who's abusive, let's say, then your son is picking up that relationship.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
If you have daughters, and you're 24 hours in the kitchen not asking for any help, or treating even your sons differently. When you're after dinner, I think men or women, you all should be in the kitchen. Take that 1 hour, help everybody out, and then get out.
Yeah.
The kids need to see that. I have 2 boys. They can independently live by themselves. They can cook, they can clean. They had to help out. I did not treat them they did not have any special treatment. When they see that, it helps. And I think every mom, if you have boys, let them do housework.
Right.
It helps. The generation is changing.
And their wives will be thankful.
Their wives should be thankful.
Right?
Yeah, because now everybody's working, right? Women are working, men are working. Biggest failure, nobody's a bad person.
Yeah.
It's just failure to communicate. We don't ask our husband, hey, can you help us
Yes.
with dishes?
Yes.
Husbands are willing to help.
Yes.
You just say it.
Yes. I think it's about time for us Indians. We need to get to a part where it's not I'm the man of the house or I'm the woman of the house, be it finances, be it washing those dishes, be it cooking a meal, be it even taking out, getting on that ladder and changing a bulb, which is like right up in the ceiling. I think it should not be divided between men or women. It should just be, it's our house, it's our work. Yeah, are you free? Let's divide and do this today. It's not that laundry is only the woman's job. I think it's about time we get out of that gender division of work, right?
Yes.
So great conversation with Deepti, and we will be talking to her on a very interesting topic with boundaries and to add to that, and then mother-in-laws and that point right there, which is kind of controversial always, right? Always. So we'll take a quick break. And after that, actually, we will be talking to Dr. Manish Roonta. He's the president of India House Houston. He will, we'll love to have him on air and talk to him quickly. And then we will be talking again with Deepti. So stay tuned. You are listening to Namaste Radio. This show is a presentation of Namaste Radio and India House Houston in association with the Hawk Foundation and AAHC. And this is 99.5 FM, but you can call us 713-974-4000 and talk to us, or you can also listen to us live on Namaste Radio's Facebook page or India House Facebook page. Stay tuned.
Bollywood entertainment, Bollywood gossip, Bollywood classics, to the latest hits, local news and events happening around town, giveaways, and lots of musti. This is Namaste Radio.
Every Saturday at 10 a.m. on 99.5 FM with your hosts, Vanshika, Sushil, and Dolly D.
Listen online at namasteradiohouston.com. Download the app, available on your Android and iPhone.
Namaste Radio.
Welcome to India House Houston. India House is a non-profit organization that serves the community by bringing resources, education, and services to Houstonians like health and fitness programs, language classes, charity clinic, and various events. Help the community now. Sponsor a program or volunteer for free food distribution at India House. Host your next indoor or outdoor events at India House facility, parties, weddings, or corporate events. Located centrally at 8888 West Belford, Houston. For details, call 713-929-1900 or visit indiahouseinc.org. Follow India House Houston on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Hello and welcome back to Namaste Radio. You are listening to Namaste Radio on 99.5 FM. मैं हूं Vanshika, and with me today I have Sandeep and our special guest in studio, Deepti Patel. Deepti is a certified professional life coach specializing in relationship and divorce coaching. And now is the time that we have a special phone guest with us today, and we are so excited that he was finally able to make it to the show. Welcome to you, Dr. Manish Roonta. And before we talk to him a little bit about him, Dr. Manish Roonta is currently the president of India House. He is serving a second term as the president. Dr. Roonta has been involved in India House since its inception. He has also helped to establish the India House Medical Clinic, Dr. Roonta is a gastroenterologist who practices in Clear Lake and has been in private practice for 16 years. Good afternoon and welcome, Dr. Roonta, to Namaste Radio.
Good afternoon to you, Vanshika, and all the listeners of Namaste Radio. It's really a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you for taking out time and coming on air and talking to
Sure.
us. We have been speaking about how family dynamics, affects mental health, and this entire month is being dedicated to mental health. And especially during COVID, we've seen a lot of, cases around town, and we've seen people going through a lot of stuff. Would you like to share your thoughts on that, Dr. Roonta?
Sure. Vanshika, I think that our whole community has endured a lot over the past 1+ years now, dealing with COVID, and this plays a big role in our family lives. There's a lot of adjustment that needs to happen because of the stressors that we take in, both from work, regardless what field of endeavor you're in. And also stress for the family. Me as a physician, for example, I tell you, when I was dealing with a lot of COVID patients in the hospitals and making rounds coming home, it was very problematic for me because I wanted to make sure that I didn't give COVID to the rest of our family. So I took extreme precautions to help. But, that wears in on both the family side as my family as well as myself. And then, it strains sort of the stress that we all have an ability to handle, and it puts a big strain. But I think that our community at the same time has been very resilient in sort of dealing with it. And so, kudos to our Houston community also for dealing with it. But yes, there's no doubt that the strains on relationships, strains in the family that I think all of our community has sort of endured.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And I am also happy about the part that the resilient part where people have fought back, people have tried their best to, work it out together. So thank you. Anything else you would like to add to that, Dr. Roonta?
I would just tell our listeners to remain strong. I think we hopefully are turning the corner here in the U.S. at least. I know our friends in India and our family are going through very, very serious times. I'm sure that there's not one person that I've not met that has had a family member, friend that has either succumbed or is seriously ill in India. So I hope and pray that we all, as a community, pray for all of our family members and friends and citizens of India for them to overcome the current strife that they're going through, and we should remain vigilant. I know CDC has guidelines now on masking, but let us not let our guard down. We need to be practical, but let us exercise the common sense that we all have been doing, so that way we can continue to prevent spread of COVID and remain strong and resilient. And we shall overcome this as well. And Houston's been through hurricanes and the like, and this is a little different calamity, but I think that our Houston community is very resilient, and I think that we will continue to use good common sense and practicality and work together to overcome the current COVID pandemic. And the last thing I'd say, Vanshika, is that be patient with your family. Be patient. We should be patient with each other.
Yes.
We all are enduring a lot of stress, and so be understanding, especially understanding of your kids, of your spouses, etc., and sort of realize that we all are deal with stress in a different way, and we should be understanding of that. And so I think that's very, very important to have good family relations and continue.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And Dr. Roonta, thank you for doing everything that
Sure.
you do for the community, with different organizations, especially with India House. Congratulations on, doing everything. And thank you also for it.
Oh, well, it's my pleasure. And it's just, we all have to give back one way or the other. I'm just doing my little part, and you all are doing such great work also. And
Thank you.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
And again, thank you for taking our time. It
Sure.
was a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you.
Always. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you. That was Dr. Manish Roonta. He is the president of India House Houston. And we're very thankful to him for taking our time and coming and talking to us on air. Now we will be again talking to Deepthi. You're back
you.
on air. So Deepthi, that one question that was left hanging there, before we went on the break. In your practice, have you been seeing still a lot of families with problems with joint families, especially the mother-in-law, daughter-in-law dynamics and, or the expectations? I know you said they are changing, but specifically on this, because when we were preparing for the show, this was one of the big requests to talk about this.
Mother-in-law. MIL, right?
MIL, yes.
So things are changing, and which is good news. I think as older women are realizing that this is not how they want life for their daughters
Right.
and their daughter-in-laws. So they are more understanding. Mother-in-laws are keeping the distance, keeping the boundaries there. They don't want to deal with the next generation where they're constantly in their business. In
Right.
our joint families, we always had the mother-in-law around with her opinions. She was the doctor of the house, right? Like mother-in-laws, they know everything.
Right.
And when you're raising your children, they have their input in there. What now I'm hearing from even mother-in-laws is they have figured it out, guys. You have to go to the daughter-in-laws first and say, hey, I'm thinking of doing this with the grandbaby.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, wow.
Things are changing. They have learned the hard way, right?
Yeah.
Don't go to the husband, because what happens in the translation, it's miscommunicated. Mom told me that we should do this. Well,
I like that.
yeah. So
No, and it's funny because a lot of my friends, or all of us, when we talk about it, it is always we say, why can't the mother-in-law talk to us directly? It is so much better, because when we hear it from them, it's like, oh, I was given the that importance that humse ye baat kiya, because yes, a lot is lost in translation, like you said, when the sons are involved. And sometimes I feel ladies aapas mein communicate karti hai to better rehta hai, right?
Achha.
And I've seen that even with my mom. Like I see that the change. My mom says this, oh, my daughter and my mother-in-law, my daughter and my daughter-in-law, आजकल के बच्चे बड़े smart हैं.
Huh.
They know it all.
they know it all.
So that's good to hear, though. And I totally like when you said about boundaries, because I think one thing, people have started living independently in nuclear family. Everyone's in a new family now. So accepting and understanding that boundary is the key, I think.
Right. It's important. You want your children to know their own children as well.
Right.
Create those bondings.
Yeah.
I think in joint families we had, the mother-in-law, father-in-law, good people. They had good intentions, but they
Yes.
want to rescue the baby. They want to. You go ahead, take your time. We'll take care of the baby. And we're like, oh my God, I can't raise my own children the way I want, right?
Yeah.
So it's important.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of resources, right? YouTube is our friend now.
Yeah.
Go use that. And also now I think even the next generation of women, we've worked so hard in our own lives that we are too young to be grandparents.
Right.
To get into that, 24/7 work.
Yeah.
We want our children to also have a balanced
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Know your children, do what's right for you, and sacrifice like the parents did. So I see that, and it's not that bad. And if you treat your daughter-in-laws just like you would treat your daughter, it's a plus. Is there going to be a difference? Absolutely. Your daughter is your daughter.
Yeah.
Mother-in-law they have to know the boundaries. If your daughter-in-law runs to the mother for guidance, don't feel left out.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's natural. If she's in the hospital giving birth, well, don't make a big deal if the mother's there.
Right.
Because she can scream at the mother-in-law, we create those boundaries, right?
Yes.
So it's okay. I think and our community as South Asians, we are so much with our families, and we have built our wealth, and the culture is very rich. Families there, and I think education, it's getting better, and I think that's out there, and both women, the younger generation, women and men, and older, they're good, and father-in-laws too. Let's not forget father-in-laws.
Oh yes,
very helpful. You know, no demands, and they know the rope too. They're learning.
That's really good to hear. And when you mentioned the example of the delivery part, I totally agree, because a lot of my friends around, and a lot of people I know, they've always said this: तुम्हारी डिलीवरी होगी तो मॉम को रखना, मदर इन लॉ को नहीं रखना, because at that time you can, like you said, it's such a big change. It is crazy out there. You are giving birth to something new, your life is changing, and then अगर कुछ भी frustration होगा, it's different, right? So yes, I've heard that so many times, and I think as mother-in-laws or mother or daughter-in-law, we all have to be accepting of this fact. And the reason we're discussing all this is because all of this can create like relationship issues leading to mental illness. So yes, absolutely. Thank you for sharing all that. The next question I want to ask you is, are there, in today's time, talking about marriages and divorce, let's talk about like a situation where a marriage cannot be saved and how to get out of that relationship. Because there are so many times we try as South Asians, Indians, हमें सिखाया गया है कि keep trying. You may waste 5-6 years of your life, but you're trying. But there are times you can't salvage a marriage, and it's not always bad, right? So
True.
Tell us about that.
So everyone out there, the audience, you have to 100% devote your time to making this marriage work, because we have invested in a marriage. Dissolving a marriage can be expensive.
Very.
So if you're in that category where you are not communicating well, issues are there, first thing is get professional help. Many insurance companies now have employment assistance programs, so they're free resources out there. You can see a therapist, you can see a family counselor. You're not crazy when you go see a therapist. I think there's also this stigma that you're a therapist, you have something wrong. So get help as much as you can. But if you're in a toxic relationship where you're physically getting abused, you're getting hit, you're getting slapped, black eyes, alcoholic, alcohol is in the play. You want to do your best, but you need to be out of that marriage. And there are so many foundations out there, Daya is one of them,
right.
That you go help, go get your help, and need to be out of this marriage.
And it's okay to go to a marriage counselor. So many times couple shies away because thinking, like you said, because of that stigma that, something's wrong in their marriage if they're seeking help. But sometimes I think a marriage can be good and you can still seek help, right? And just elevate the level of that goodness in your marriage.
Yes. You need that third opinion, right?
Yes.
Like both need to go in. Sometimes I also see men or women, they resist it. Oh, you need help. You need to go see a therapist. Those statements are so harming.
Yeah.
If you're in a marriage, this is a partnership. Both of you have sacrificed. Even if you're men, you have sacrificed your life, bringing money at home, building businesses. Career has been successful. Women and men need to understand, let's go as partners. Even if you see one has real medical issues, be that partner. Go together. Let somebody else say something that, hey, maybe this needs to be elevated to the next level of therapy. But yes, go with a partner, and you will learn a lot, because it's all about our mindset. And some of it, we grew up just watching our parents' society of how relationships look like. But they don't have to look like that. We don't need to repeat the cycle. Somebody needs to break it. And when it's a toxic relationship, dead marriages, is it okay to say the big D word, divorce? It's hard. but how do you continue? And divorce would be the next step, to get out of the marriage. And then there is steps of divorce, and I can go through what, things that help me. After my second divorce, it was my finances were compromised, and now I'm in my 50s. Now what?
Yeah.
Society is going to label you one divorce, two. I mean, you're at fault for something.
Yeah.
I had to do a lot of soul searching. I came up with the Focus 5 concepts, and my website has it at patellifecoach.com. And I literally went to Starbucks one day, and I sat there and I said, what are the 5 things that matters to me? Number 1 started out with faith. And when I say faith, it does not mean religion. You can go to the mandir, mosque, you can go anywhere. But peace of mind. Religion, if you're practicing religion, that's number 1. You're doing well.
Right.
But if you're not, and you don't believe, or you don't have that inner calling, it's okay. Step back. Meditation. You don't want to get up in the morning and start your morning with a list of things to do, rush out of bed. Take that 20 minutes for yourself. Meditation, anything that helps you calm your body. Faith is important. Number 2, the Focus 5 concept, F's. Number 2, food. 80-20% rule. I had cheesecake last night at Cheesecake Factory. 1,500 calories. But it's okay.
It's okay.
Eat food, but 80% healthy food.
Healthy food, yeah.
We're in America, right? Most of us. And we have good food out there. Choose your food wisely, because that helps with your mental health as well. Nourishment. Don't start your day with, wrong foods and sugars, right? Food is important. Fitness. Fitness is very important.
Right.
That saved my first marriage. After the first marriage and raising those 2 boys, I had to work out myself physically. 4 or 5 days at the gym. You don't have to go crazy. Walking, you could do anything. Take out time for yourself. It's very important. Family. Family is the 4th F, right? Family is very important, extremely important. As you're seeing now, it's coming back. Before, nuclear was it. Now, there was a show, I think, on the radio or TV where blended families are coming back. You need that mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Because both parents are working. With schools now remotely, you need that mother-in-law helping to make sure the kids are logged in.
Yeah.
So that's coming back. But also, so family is important. Fun is important. Now traveling has started, right? So travel, have fun. Experience the world. Pandemic has taken away a lot of lives. We have lost family. I've lost a couple of uncles myself within the last few months. So it's important with family. Your children are important. And then last, finances that nobody talks about.
Right.
Women they don't even know where finance, they're handed money. Here's your credit card, spend. But when divorce comes, they have to relearn how to budget. And as an accountant, this is where I help them through the budgeting, because when you don't have money, when you can't stand on your own foot, it's very difficult.
Yes.
So women and men, women especially, don't lose your career. Children will always have their, careers in place. They'll move on. What are you going to do?
And I think I've seen that a lot of women lose themselves after their kids grow. They've left their careers, and after their kids grow up, and they leave for college. Because the husbands always had that busy life. Now the mothers are free again. So very right. Don't lose your careers.
Don't lose your career. Yeah. And it's not about money, right?
Yes.
But when the time comes, be able to pick up a job.
Yes. Yes.
If you are not educated and have limited resources, you know how to cook.
Yeah.
A lot of people are, out there catering. So, there's a lot of opportunities. So finances are important.
And be involved in the finances in the house with your husband. Know where everything is, all the bank accounts, even the utility bills. Know that.
You should know that.
Everything. Thank you for sharing that, Deepti. We have the last 5 minutes of today's show. So before we end the show today, we definitely want to reach out and have the place where y'all can reach out. Few of the places that we want to share first are, of course, India House Houston, where there's so many free classes for improving your mental health, and Deepti is also a part of it, doing so much volunteer work at India House through her Bolly X Fitness or even the relationship coaching. And the number to reach India House is 713-929-1900, or you can visit their website indiahouseinc.org. Another place is Hope Clinic. You can reach them at 713-773-0803, extension 196 or 258. And one more place which is okay to say is a Texas-based public awareness campaign initiated by Meadows Mental Health Policy Institute and supported by the Hackett Center for the Mental Health. So they basically believe that it is okay to say. So okay to talk about whatever you're going through. And you can visit their website at okaytosay.org or follow them at Okay to Say on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So thank you, Deepti, for being a part of our show today. We'll definitely have you back, I know, very soon. And share your information so that if somebody has to get in touch with you, how can they do that? And anything before, finishing our show today, any message that you would like to give out? We have about 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me first. And I can be reached at patellifecoach.com. And I'm also volunteering my time at India House through relationship and life coaching. So take advantage of it. Yes. Call them. It's every Tuesday night, 7 to 9, but you have to get on the books. It's by appointments. And my phone number is on my website. And one last advice, take care of yourself. I think it's very important to take care. It's not selfish to take care of yourself first. And what is your legacy? You want to be remembered as somebody that has contributed not into for your family, friends, but something that you have done for your life as well. And how do you want to be remembered? Create your own legacy, create your own journey, and it all helps with your mental health and well-being.
Beautiful. Thank you. One more time, that website.
patellifecoach.com.
patellifecoach.com.
My phone number is there, and you can reach me through there.
Perfect. So patellifecoach.com, that is the website for Deepti Patel. You've heard her here today. You can listen to this, after we end this live, you can listen to the show again on Namaste Radio's Facebook page, India House Houston's Facebook page. And of course, we'll have a podcast coming up tomorrow for our Saturday show, today's show. This is a special presentation on focusing on mental health and different aspects of mental health related to youth. Today we spoke about relationship, divorce. We will focus on something more next Monday. So we will be back for this next Monday, exactly the same time, 12 to 1 on 99.5 FM and Facebook Live on Namaste Radio or India House Houston page. Follow India House Houston on Facebook, Instagram, or you can visit their website for different programs, their different telehealth clinic. Their website is indiahouseinc.org, and we want to thank India House for making us a partner on this. And of course, we want to thank Hawk Foundation for Mental Health for doing amazing work out there for this cause, and also AAHC, which is Asian American Health Coalition. Thank you so much, Deepti, again for coming here. Thank you so much, Deep, for your partnership here. And thanks, Mom. It was a pleasure having you here in studio with us today. So thank you. Stay tuned. This is Namaste Radio. Next show will be on Saturday. Sandeep and I will present another show this coming Saturday at 10 a.m. on 99.5 FM or Namaste Radio's Facebook page. So stay tuned. That will be a fun-packed Bollywood show. So a little different from this one, but we are enjoying this show, and I hope you are too. Give us your feedback on namaste-radio3@gmail.com or just on our Facebook page, Namaste Radio, or Instagram page, Namaste Radio. Thank you. Namaste. Stay safe, and we will see you on Saturday.
Thank you.